welcome. You have now entered the lust loop. Doo doo doo. And I'm your host, Mac. I am a surviving lust looper of the last, feels like 6 years, maybe 5-6 years. If you are here and you got here naturally, say your algorithm showed you this video, and there's a reason. I smoke. You can hate on me in the comments. It really just seems kind of silly. Okay? Especially this day and age. Just let me do my thing. I'll let you do yours. And we're totally cool. Like, okay? If you're here naturally, you're supposed to be here. If you have been told about my videos, my channel, my page, whatever, you may not be. I'm going to talk about some crazy shit. Okay? Some crazy shit. At least to me, it's crazy. So crazy that I've wondered what almost seems like lately, more often than not, what is going on? And am I crazy? Don't get me wrong. This is like that safe touch of insanity where I'm still here. I'm not like, I don't hear anything crazy. I do see shit, but I see ghosts, you know? I see energies. I'm in the midst of this karmic loop. And part of me thinks that because I've dragged it on for so long, that's why it's kind of taken this paranormal turn. But then at the same time, I think I was just born into it. I think this is what it is for me. I think this is what I'm supposed to experience because of my family lineage, coming from seers. It's just the way it is. I've had a rough week. I've had a rough 2 weeks. I've had a rough month. Not rough in the sense of like, well, it's kind of always been heavy for me. And I'm doing my best to like rework that mentally, right? I'm doing my best. What's crazy is once you really get on this path, you start to learn things about yourself and the company you keep. Primarily you. And I've learned, even all these years, I thought, I'm maybe a little rough around the edges. Great humor. This and that and the other. Sarcastic, but funny. I thought these were traits and parts of me that were really me. And, you learn that that's not the case, right? We develop those traits. We develop that passive aggressiveness because something's happened where we've been hurt. And I kind of like hesitated for a second. I hate even having to do that because I believe I'm not perfectly. I'm really comfortable with talking about this stuff. I'm trying to talk to other people about trauma, pain, something happening. It really, it's not a 50-50, it's not a 60-40, it's probably like 80-20, People don't want to look at that shit, they don't want to hear about it. But what have I told you? That's the whole reason we're here. That makes things a little difficult. Especially when it seems that our entire society is obsessed with trying to find love. Everybody wants to find love. But we jump in these relationships that have no substance, and it's always sex first before we even know anybody's middle name. And it's just a constant loop of lust. hence the name. Then you meet not the one, but the one who changes it all. The one who puts the key in the ignition and turns it. In terms of your spiritual progression. The karmic. Somebody to me that I was head over heels in love with. And every day I find out it's just an illusion, you know? It's not what I thought it was. And we've been split up we were married, didn't even make it a year. We've been split up and divorced, legally divorced almost 4 years. We're still caught up in this thing. But I will say, I've made progress. Okay. Now, I've tried to film this video. Last 4 to 5 days. I've tried it twice. And the first time I felt like I was being too gossipy, you know. There's a certain level of restraint. And like you have to, when speaking on others, we're supposed to have some tact, right? We're not supposed to like down others, but we can share our story. I didn't feel right with it. Second time, I was really anxious. You can see it all over my face. As I'm having all of these different things that involve this relationship happen, I got all this energy around me, just doing its thing. I've got a couple of videos on here you might want to check out of some things popping up. You know, I give you a kind of a peek into my backyard here and like things out here. There's, I think, a 36-minute video where at the bottom of it, you can see this like golden light come through. I don't know what it is. But I got to a point where I'm just tired of going through this alone and not talking about it. I think more people can see and do what I do too. And I'm really tired of being looked at like I'm crazy. Throughout the video, if you want, take a look around. Look in the background, watch the lights, see if you see anything pass in front of them. Because it's just the fact that I'm talking about this, the fact that I'm on camera right now, it's going to amp it up. I mean, I hear people talking about being gang stalked. Don't get me wrong, I believe them, and their gang stalking is more like real life 3D shit. This is my gang stalking. Spiritual warfare. I get attacked constantly. And the kicker is, I believe the main one, the main energy, like you don't have to be dead to do this. You just leave your body. You can astral project, not astral project, you can remote view, things like that. Like, there are ways to still be alive and visit somebody in a spiritual sense and mess with them, whatever you want to do, watch them. Are we aware of it? Most of us know, because like I don't know where I go, if I go. And I still like to, I don't believe that I'm like 100% awake or anything like that either. I'm doing my best, you know. But I think that's where autopilot comes into play. People during the day or whatever, they're here, their body's here, but they're out visiting, doing things, right? I have some really crazy stories with that. Just the things I've seen, and it's his face. He tries to cover it from time to time. It's like a hologram. Straight up. Takes me back, when I start really thinking about it, because it's so far out there. What I'm living is so far out there. But that's what I want to remind myself, that I don't think any of us have really any idea what reality really is and what we're capable of experiencing. And that real life is exactly what the movies say they are. The movies are created to make us believe that these things aren't possible, and they very much so are. You're a wizard, Harry. That's the best way I could put it. We are all wizards. And when we're asleep, that's when we're in what they call it, there's a funny word for it. What they call regular humans in Harry Potter. Anyways, I think we're all that. We just become brainwashed and become the other. I've had some interesting things happen throughout my life, to where by the time I met this person in my life now, I was very vulnerable. I was wounded. So was he. I'm trying to say I was something more than the other, or more than him, if that makes sense. I didn't know that, because I was getting through every day. I'd just gotten out of almost like a 5-year relationship, where in the end we had a baby. A year after that, he brutally beat me, and I never went back, but he decided to try and make my life miserable, and basically hunted me every day if he could. And he took really crazy routes to do that. Well, I was just trying to survive, going through homelessness, all these different things. My guy that I got with, he was my neighbor after I moved out away from that relationship. But then we got back together. I moved out from that house. Some time in between, some chaos as well. But eventually, me and this guy made our way back together. We made our way to each other. He had his stuff, I had my stuff, but we finally were. It's been years of sadness internally, wondering what's wrong with me, feeling inadequate, but then loving this other person and looking at myself in the mirror and like really digging into myself and pulling myself apart, like, and to have him be like, don't do that, so on and so forth. Like, he's one of my biggest supporters throughout things, but then our home life was not good. When we finally moved in with one another, it was pretty violent. And he won't admit that. He will not admit it. And it's a big stopper to me when we have conversations about the possibility of getting back together. It's not, I've gone back. And that key thing right there bothers me. I've had all of my flaws. I've had him just ride my ass for years, making fun of me, but still showing up for him every single night, like a good wife does. Because that's how I knew he loved, like how he supposedly showed his love. So that's what I did. And my mental health was depleting. We ended up splitting because I'm pretty sure he was cheating on me the whole time. And it was violent. There was a point where I was really scared. But then once we split, it was like all of a sudden he turned the switch and he was this great guy again. Until we'd get to certain points where I started noticing, he'd loop me back in and I'd fall head over heels in love with him. And like 2 weeks into that, all of a sudden he'd switch and he was not the same person. He was shitty. He was busy. I wasn't aware of this when I lived with him, right? So then when I look back at those times, I'm like, he never smiled at me when he came home. There's all these different things where it's just like, he was annoyed with me. And I was a stay-at-home mom, like, I had time to kind of assess this. And it's so crazy because now this is coming full circle with all of this. And I'm telling you, I was right in the very beginning. So one thing I really want to touch on in this, listening to your intuition. Because even though I knew all these things, like I had these like different aha moments, I'd get so caught up in the drama of all of it that I'd let that fall by the wayside. And he would tell me it wasn't true. And I would believe him. And now looking back, I'm like, I knew it. I called it. It's taken me so many cycles of not understanding and just feeling this hurt, this pain, this deep sadness of just, oh, woe is me, love, and all that stuff, to finally start taking notes. Noticing the pattern, noticing the triggers, getting past that and listening to the conversations in those moments. So my previous episode, I had touched on in a back and forth between him and I. It became very clear to me that even though I was very thorough in my explanations, I could basically walk you through everything that I was trying to say to him. Like, there should be no confusion. And past the confusion, you should take something away from what we're talking about, apply something to that, to your life, try to, even if it's just his side that he was listening to. There just should have been more progress. And there never was. There still isn't. So I drew the conclusion that he's doing all that on purpose. He was deliberately not progressing. He knew what he was doing. He was playing me. And I have these moments of like, oh my God. This is what's happening. This is not what I thought was happening, because you can't tell by the look on his face. No clue. And he will do everything he can to convince you that he's right and you're wrong. And I said, you have so many holes in your story, but mine, what I'm telling you, flows sequentially through, right? But yours are like 5 major points, pothole between all of them. But you want me to believe you? Tell me how that makes sense. And how it doesn't make sense that you can't follow what I'm telling you. Most recent moment, aha moment for me. It's probably about a week, maybe even 2 weeks ago, I don't know. And in this back and forth, We've been very affectionate throughout the day, like lovey-dovey, like we hook up. But this was more like lovey. And I was feeling it. And I told him, I said, I want to be with you so bad. But, and that rolls into this conversation, I've tried every route, every approach you can think of. And finally this came to me. And it kind of struck him, we'll say. I said, how many phone calls have you made to the counselor? How many times have I asked you to go, and how many times have you followed through with my request and looked into it? I've probably asked him to go at least 20 times. Not once. I said, well, you should have handled that. And all of a sudden his switch flips and he goes, let's not get started talking about what each other should have done. I said, well, calm and cool. Why are you saying that? You're taking this conversation into a whole different direction. This is the conflict right here. I said, you know what's really messed up in all of this? We could have used a counselor to find this point, to find this part, stopping point, this pivotal point, whatever. Years ago. But I've had to do all of this myself. I had to find it. I know your behavior and my behavior way too well at this point. Tell me something about me. My behavior that you're aware of. I couldn't breathe. Because it was all just starting to really hit me. And what's messed up is, like, I've still spoke to him. He knows that I'm not interested anymore. I also have no family, no friends. Both my parents have passed. And, you know, since he's my only family. So that makes it hard. Because he's a person, I mean, there are points in time where he is the perfect listener, but that's because he's trying to get information. They want the details, you know? They have a great listening ear for information on me, but when I try to, like, problem solve the relationship, what are you saying? What I find fascinating throughout it all is the fact that these aha moments happen. Divinely timed. Without any type of hitch or misstep. And, like, in that moment, how I even got to that place of that question, like, blows my mind. And the problem here is like, the term silver-tongued, it ain't no bullshit. As soon as he speaks, it's like the harmonics of it, the frequency of it, all of it, it's like a song to me. He's the siren. And I fall for it. Now we're at a point, though, that it's like, I can't unsee it anymore. You know, I've had, I love reading tarot. I love being intuitive. But this relationship has definitely promoted me stuffing that down and not trusting myself. There have been so many things that have happened that I'm like, I know you can sense it in the air that this and this and this and this happened. Like, there's no way that didn't. And because I didn't have hard proof, it was bullshit. Another thing pushed to the wayside. It's also gotten to the point where it's like, I just kind of feel trapped. I have felt trapped. I'm now starting to see and feel and experience the not trapped. But I had dug myself so deep and entangled myself within him and his energy so much that it's like, I'm an artist, I do lots of things. But I have a real hard time getting a job. And I think that plays into it too. Like, he wants me in this house. Which we live separate, but still. And I hate admitting this. But I've become financially dependent on him. And it's really made it difficult to get out of this. I got kids. I've been homeless before. And even though they haven't, because they would be with their dads, during that time, they know that I was. They know that we weren't together. And once you do that, you don't want to go back there. And I've been there a couple times. Because my life's just been so... I've not been able to process a lot of the things that have happened. Whether they be regular life things or traumatic situations. Then you get to the place where you're like, but technically I created all of it. So I can't be mad at anybody. I can't be mad at life. I can't be mad at any of that anymore. I'm trying not to be mad at myself, I'm really working on that, on the forgiveness part of this, and there's so many parts of everyday life that really push us in these directions of feeling in lack and experiencing these really messed up things. So it's hard to pull ourselves out of it. I had a channel years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago roughly. I remember trying to talk about spiritual shit, having no experience like I do now. I remember being like, it's all about this and this concept right now. And then sitting there and being like, what is that concept? I knew a lot of things. I didn't have the wisdom and experience to back it. Not saying I'm like this all-knowing in anything. But I've seen some shit. And with that shit, I'm learning to slow down and look at that shit. So that shit doesn't affect me long term. The creation of my future reality. And I can feel a difference in just the way that I'm thinking. From all my readings, it's like this week is going to be really, really I don't to say explosive, but there's going to be a lot of things that happen. If you're here, you either watch tarot or you have an interest. You know, tarot is the focal point for this for me. And I'll tell you what, it has been wrong. But it's been right more than it's been wrong. And it's crazy how accurate it can be. If you're fresh, if you're new into this, be careful. Because the drama of it all, hearing these different things and getting emotionally like reactive and things like that, it is addictive. And I lost a lot of time that way. Just so caught up in the hurt because I knew the things that I was hearing was right. And I'm trying to like get him to admit it. But he's not going to admit it in years. Because I held on to hope. Because he'd look me in my eye and tell me he loved me. And then turn around and go cheat on me. That's a story for another day. I'm going to end the video now just because we're a reasonable amount, you know. So if you're new here, that's me. I'm Mac. That's a little bit of my story. Thanks for getting to know me a little bit. And anybody returning, I really appreciate you. If you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for your time, your energy. Wherever you are on your journey, I hope you're doing okay. Because this ain't no joke. Makes me want to cry right now. Thinking about all the people out there that could be going through it, you know. All just to heal. And I do it for me, but I also do it for my daughters. Listen, I don't want to keep continuing this. And we've gotten so deep into this continual loop of tradition. It's really fucked us. But we can get out of it. I hope to see you again, friend. Until next time, I love you.